Hello and welcome to my first YouTube video. My name is Jay Peters. I'm 21 years old and I'm excited for you to learn. I'm going to be on this channel explaining to you how in 2025 I transformed my life completely, making over 6 figures. The ways that I go about business, how I'm able to monetize my personal brand, why in 2026 the biggest asset you can have is a personal brand. What every entrepreneur thinks he needs to be doing, but what he really needs to be doing to see success. I'm going to show you in this page how I am creating my agency, how I'm scaling it to over 6 figures per month, what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis to really get there. This isn't no guru talk. This is personal. This is an Australian kid. This is some guy going against the norm. So I want to get into my story and you have a bit of background for me because I want this channel to live long past my generation. So I'm going to outline my story so you guys know exactly who I am, what I'm about, and where I've come from. This story starts when I finished school. Like every white boy, you can say, you go out drinking, you enjoy your post-high school celebrations. For me, that was completely different. I was lost. I was insecure. I went to schoolies, but I didn't have much fun. I moved out as soon as I was 18. The reason for me moving out is because I was actually making a full-time income, owning a brick and mortar business in gardening and lawn care that I started during high school when COVID happened. It was a time and place where I felt depressed, stuck inside, no ambition, watching my friends around me just video games all day. It wasn't something that I connected on. I was never allowed an Xbox, so I couldn't truly enjoy those moments. So I decided to start a business, and it scaled fast. As I started to grow the gardening care in my hometown, Australia, Sydney, Northern Beaches, I scaled that fast, getting in over 50 clients, and by the time I finished school, I was running a full operation, 2 teams, 2 managers, bunch of cars, bunch of gear, and it was a bit full on. But during this process, I learned the ability of how to scale and how to manage a team, which I carry on to this today. I then end up going on and selling that as it wasn't a passion for me. It didn't fulfill me. It didn't feel like something that genuinely I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Like, who wants to pick up a shovel for the rest of their life? During this time, I also managed to generate great connections. I was dealing with a lot of founders, a lot of business owners, and a lot of healthy entrepreneurs as I was gardening for them. They took blessing in the young kid trying to strive for more. And I soon realized that you don't need to work 60-hour weeks to make the money that I dreamed of, to make the dream life become a reality. In this process of me selling my business and learning and managing a team, I realized how it was important to take accountability, how to hold yourself accountable. So for that next year, I left and I decided after selling my business to invest it all. I went full in studying the marine industry because I also had a passion for the boats. And again, as a lost 19-year-old kid, I had no idea what I wanted to do. In the weekends, I was studying in the day, starting a podcast up with my best friends on how to invest. During that process of me selling my business, I learned a lot of things that I wanted other kids to learn. So I started a podcast. It was called Down to Finance. In this journey, I also learned that time is money, and I didn't feel like I had much time at all. I felt like everyone around me was wasting their time while I was stuck indoors trying to grind my days out. It was lonely. It was a lonely journey. While I was studying for my captain's license because it was a true passion of mine, I still knew deep down it wasn't what I wanted to do. I knew deep down it wasn't for me. It wasn't the journey that I wanted to live. But at 19 years old, I did get my captain's license, and that set me up to a pretty good salary. Not at university yet, just driving boats, doing podcasts. It was a pretty good life. I was living out of home with my best friend at the time, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. But it still wasn't fulfilling. I was making around $100,000 a year for a 19-year-old, and it allowed me to get great savings. I bought my first home, I invested, and it was a journey that I'm very, very thankful for because it taught me discipline. I was waking up at 4 a.m. each morning, going to the gym, traveling far to go to work, and then come home, rest, eat, repeat, sleep. It's how my days were spent. It was a lonely journey, but it was something I am, again, truly thankful for. Then 20 rolled around and I realized the marine industry was for me. It was printing me good money, but it wasn't fulfilling. So I decided to go to university and study business because, again, as a 19-year-old does selling his business before any other adults have even started their business, I realized maybe I should go study business. And that was the first mistake I've ever done with my life. A year and a half in, I realized that the course that I'm learning from people who are aspiring to be in the position of owning their own business one day, that why am I learning from these people? These people were there to make money. They were not there to educate. They were not there to nurture your minds in the way that you should be when you're teaching. Teaching requires 2 components. It's the visual and written learning. And all I had was verbal. All they would do is they would yap every single day. I wouldn't hear anything that was actually valuable information. And in this 1.5 years of my life, I felt like it was wasted. But it was also another good life lesson and part of my journey thus far. It was good because it made me realize that I don't want to be at university any longer. And it made me realize two things: that marketing and sales, one of the most important two fundamental skills you can have. In my process of brick and mortar business and in that journey of me owning the gardening business, I didn't really have to focus on both because referrals played a massive opportunity. As a young kid running a business, as a local gardening business, you're bound to get inbound leads anywhere you go because so many people just want to support that local kid who's trying to give it a go. But when it comes to real high ticket prices, when you're coming to actually acquire large amounts, large investments from high level founders, sales and marketing is one of the most important skills. And I knew that if I wanted to conquer this world, if I wanted to live my dreams, and if I wanted to provide for my family with generational wealth, I needed to learn one of the skills ASAP. So while I was at university, I got a job on marketing. I was working during the week on the boats, studying at night, and also on the weekends. I was working during the weeks at this marketing agency, studying at night, and working in the marine industry on the weekends. It was good. I was busy, it was fulfilling, and I started to feel more purpose. I had a great team around me in the marketing, working for one of Best Australia's marketing agencies. I started off as the creative director, junior position. In there, I learned the role of ads, I learned the role of strategy, and I learned the role of creatives. But one thing I questioned every single day was, why are these people not relying on organic social media? And this is where my journey thus far began. I realized that in this process, all these founders were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads. And yes, of course, you can control the ROAS, you can control the return on ad spend, you can control the variables with the ads, you can create a great creative, but you have to cost money. It costs money to produce an ad. The more you spend, the more you get in return. It's simple. But people weren't taking advantage of organic social media like I was, from the generational X, from the generational Z lens. I saw the opportunity and I mentioned it to my boss, and he said to me, "It's not necessary." In that moment, I realized that he was stubborn. And I realized that this is why the younger generation will exceed the older generation, because of their ability to adapt. Their mind is different these days. People have the ability when you're younger to take risks, high chances, ability to adapt to situations where the older generation is stuck. They're stuck in ways that aren't complicated. They're stuck in ways that can be solved so easily, but they're so used to getting exactly what they're after in that way that they're not willing to change, not willing to adapt to the situation. So I decided to start my own social media page to prove them wrong. I decided that I'm going to document the journey of having a social media page and what it's like to actually build a organic social media presence, because I knew it was possible. In this process, it was hard. Again, I was at university, I was working on the boats, I was working in the marketing agency, and I knew if I really wanted this, I had to go far, but I was afraid of judgment. It pulled me back. It stopped me from chasing my dreams, and I started off in the fitness industry because I didn't know how else to monetize it. I wanted to align it with my hobbies because I thought of it, the importance to be able to create daily had to be aligned off my hobbies. But one thing I didn't realize was the fear of judgment from other people. It's so important that when creating content, you have so much passion in what you're doing to actually create. Content creation is a hard skill. You have to control multiple variables at once: editing, voice recording, the way to visually engage the audience. It's basically an all-in-one creative director, and it's why not many people succeed online. If not many creators actually make a profit. So during this period, I realized I needed, if I wanted to take this seriously, to go all in. But then in May 2025 last year, my dad had a stroke. It was a huge turning point in my life, watching my dad's seizure on the floor in my own house, 2 a.m. in the morning. It made me realize how crucial life is and how quickly the variables can change, how quickly your life can be flipped upside down from one day sitting on the couch, laughing over TV, to next, giving your dad CPR on the floor. It was a huge pivotal life moment for me, but it was necessary. My dad's okay today, and I'm very thankful for it, and I cherish this day highly. Not just to have the support the Australian government has when it comes to the facilities and the services they provide through the ambulances, but also the ability to have the medical and the funds to actually provide medical attention in an emergency. It's why today I don't want to be creating a house. I don't want to be creating a life full of luxury cars, luxury watches. I want the ability to save my family when is necessary. I want the ability to walk down the street and buy a coffee without having to check my bank account. That is why I'm striving for more. I want the ability to fly my brother around the world to shoot me content, to provide him the life that I want to be having myself from a young age. And that is my responsibility and why I'm taking this journey so far. So after I saw my dad having a stroke on the floor, I realized it was time. It was time to change. It was time to take action on my dreams. And I booked a flight to Bali. I quit everything. I went all in. And that's where my journey began. In July 2025 this year, I moved to Bali. I booked a one-way ticket by myself, solo, and I went all in, posting content every single day. And let me tell you, it was one of the most humbling experiences of my life. I have no income, no friends, no backup plan. It was me, a tripod, and a dream. And I realized that if I wanted to make this reality happen, I had to lock the fuck in. And I took it super seriously. I tracked every video. I analytically recorded every single piece of data, every single piece of content I put out there. I studied trends, I studied algorithms, I studied other creators. And I realized that Instagram is full of makeshift copywriters, people just copying each other. And as soon as I realized this, and as soon as I realized how to manipulate the algorithm, but how to create an authentic page through the art of storytelling, that's when everything changed. 2 months in, I saw no progress. I started to make a bit of money through fitness coaching, which allowed me to make my first $10,000 online. But again, it wasn't satisfying. It wasn't something that I was truly happy about. I didn't want to make people abs. I wanted to see genuine results. I wanted to make me feel fulfilled. And although this journey was humbling, it was great. Yes, I was making $10,000 online with 3,000 followers, coaching people how to get abs in fitness coaching. It still wasn't something fulfilling. And it wasn't until I really looked into what I want to be doing in my life, what I want to be helping people with, that's when it all changed. I started a series where I documented my journey to reach 50,000 followers on Instagram. I set a delusional goal, as everyone should be doing. If you're not setting delusional goals, then what are you doing? If you set a delusional goal, then even if you land halfway, no matter what, you can achieve anything you want in your life. So I set this series and I documented it. I used every single piece of knowledge when it comes to storytelling to create this series. And after 28 days, one of them blew up. Overnight, I gained 25,000 followers and my life changed. My life changed forever. I joined a community before that 2 weeks prior. A community that I truly am passionate about and I am still to this day. And I joined that community from an inspiration of the person that started it. He was the reason why I started content. He inspired me to get better, and during that process, I joined the community online, paid $10,000, and I realized that when I joined it, the knowledge in there I already knew, but I didn't join it for the knowledge. I joined it for the connection. I reached out to the founder and I said to him, look, I'm about to blow up. Please give me a chance when I blow up. He kind of laughed, smirked, and he said, go on, give it a shot. 2 weeks later, my account blew up, as I just mentioned, and he offered me a job, my first retainer. I quit fitness coaching. I refunded all the people that I signed on for that month. It was over $10,000, and yes, I didn't take their money. I refunded them, and I learned a very, very valuable lesson. And it's if you're going to commit to something online, you need to commit. Otherwise, don't take it on. Money is cool, but money will always come. It's not the most important part. What's the most important part is your reputation. If you're not upholding a great reputation online, if you're not upholding a great reputation in person, then who are you? Would you rather have someone speak on your name poorly or speak on your name positively? If you have a good referral, you can always get multiple more. And it's why it's so important that I took this seriously, this first retainer, helping people grow their accounts through the art of storytelling. And it made me realize that if this massive creator, someone with over 1 million followers, was hiring me, someone who now had 30,000 followers, to do storytelling content inside his module, build out a module inside his course to coach over 2,000 people, that I was doing something right. The authority, the creativity, the fulfillment that it brought me was something that I've never felt before. The ability to help other creators transform their lives, not just their business, but also their pages through my storytelling content. My pieces of formulated content, it was life-changing. It was the most motivating thing in my life, and it made me realize the power of content creation and how important it is that if you are not creating content in 2025, you are missing out on the biggest lottery ticket of your life. It is literally the modern day Bitcoin. It is so easy to create content these days and change your life. In 1 year, I have completely transformed my life just through posting videos online. And the only reason why I didn't start sooner is because of the afraid of judgment. I was so afraid of what other people were thinking of me that it held me back. Now, after building out these modules inside this course and teaching inside this community, I realized the opportunity that I actually withheld. I realized how much power I withheld and how much I was holding myself back. I didn't start social media for work to someone else. And to be full honest, I'm not living this life ever to work for someone else. It's always a stepping stone in someone's journey. But people that stay there are just afraid to take a leap on themselves. And I was part of that. I was getting paid $6,000 per month to create content for a living. And it truly was fulfilling. It was comfortable, it was safe, and I felt like I was living a dream. I could travel the world, I could do what I want, while also just working online a couple days a week. It was a dream. But in life, something can never be too good. And in this process, I relearned how much money I was leaving on the table by staying with this. So I left and I went all in on myself. My first month of going in on myself, I made $30,000 AUD. It was a life-changing experience for me. Yes, I made good money back in the day with my brick and mortar business. Yes, I've sold a business. Yes, I have purchased a house. But to make $30,000 online while traveling the world for yourself of something that you have started from the very beginning with something that you have been wanting to do for so long but been held back by other people's opinion was a truly fulfilling moment. It was something that truly changed my life. My ability to make money online, travel the world, and create content was something that I will never forget that feeling. From there, I went on to scale up my consulting business. I was working one-on-one directly with founders, helping them scale their personal brand, not their business personal brand. And in this journey, I learned the power of information. I learned the power of info. And I learned that if you were to create an info product, it's hard because people learn info in 1 month, then they realize, hold up, I've just paid you a lot of money for this, but I've already learnt it all in a month. And their expectation to see results in, week out, is hard. It's hard to fulfill for someone once they learn everything in 1 month. Because once you learn everything in 1 month, it's up to you to implement. It's up to you to take the steps forward. It's not up to me to create your videos for you. And that's when I realized I can't scale. Yes, I was doing 30 to 60K months, but I couldn't scale. And to be full honest, I didn't want to build out a big fulfillment process. I didn't want to have coaches under me, and I didn't want to turn into the pyramid that I continuously left. I didn't want to be another info guy online. I didn't do social media to be this info guy. I didn't want to be the info guru. And I didn't want to create this pyramid scheme, to be full honest. It's how this information works. But at the end of the day, it's all about what you do with it. It's all about how you take control and how you actually act with your clients. My ability to handle my client fulfillment is something that I'm truly proud on. But it's something that I realized I cannot scale. Yes, I was hitting 30 to 60K months, but I couldn't sustain it. I couldn't week in, week out continue to grow without seeing the results for my clients that I wanted. So I decided to jump ships. I decided to continue to fulfill those clients that I had on until they were satisfied. And then I started my agency, my Done For You agency with my partner, my business partner, a friend of mine that I truly made along this social journey and someone that I'm truly thankful for. It's a Done For You service. And this is where I bring to the final part of this journey, where I'm currently at today, sitting here January 1st, 2026, ready to tackle the year. My Done For You service is Done For You scripting, editing, and filming platform. It's all over the world. If you're in Australia, we film. If you're overseas, it's scripting, editing, and creative direction. This is my agency now. We do a full Done For You service, and it's what I get most fulfillment from. It's a scalable model because I'm allowed to implement scripters, editors, copywriters, market research, while I take on creative strategy. Where before I was handling it all, and it was up to the clients to make the results happen. Where now I can take control of the situation and I can ensure my clients get results no matter what. It's something that I'm also passionate about because I feel morally, ethically correct. I don't feel like I'm ripping off anybody. I know the results are there and I know I can make it happen because it's up to me to edit the videos. It's up to me to make this dream come alive for them. But yes, it is a high price. And yes, it is something that I am proud of today. So as 2026 rolls around, this is my new venture. This is what I'm going to be working on. And this is what I'm going to be scaling on. My aim for 2026 is to make this Australia's biggest social media organic marketing agency. I want this to be on camera now. Mark my words that by the end of this year, 2026, I will have scaled this business to be a nationwide agency. People will be talking about this. People will be explaining this to your kids. People will be discussing this at dinner tables. I want you to understand that this agency isn't something to be taken lightly. If you're a founder who is time poor, unsure of how to manage content, doesn't have clarity, doesn't know strategy, doesn't understand how to grow on social media, but knows the importance, knows the value that it has, then I'm your man. My team feel free to book a one-on-one call down below for a free page audit where we will jump on a strategy call and discuss how my team can help you. I'm excited for 2026. I have massive goals. I have massive achievements this year. And I'm going to be breaking down on this account how to tailor content strategy, how to create a personal brand, how to monetize your personal brand, how to grow an authentic audience through the art of storytelling, how to connect with founders and individuals and network like you've never done before. Essentially, I'm going to show you how to build your dream life. Thank you and welcome to my page. We'll speak soon.